and welcome to the Gifted Spoilercast of episode 7, Extreme Measures. I know I'm a little bit late on this, as well as episode 8, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So this episode was, every episode, I enjoyed this season so far. This first season, I've enjoyed it. And so you learn a little bit more about the characters. In this episode particularly, we learn a little bit more about Marcos, Eclipse. We see how he was approached by, the Mutant Underground, by Johnny and Polaris, which I've learned her name is Lorna. Such a weird name. But he was approached by Johnny and Lorna in a diner to basically be recruited to come back to the Mutant Underground. And so at first, you can see that he was skeptical and all that stuff. But, of course, eventually he comes to the Mutant Underground because, he's in the show right now. And so from that, we see basically the continuation of the last episode where his ex is cashing in on her deal with him that she gave him the information to find Polaris or Lorna, and he basically is back in helping them. To the extent it make it seem like he's back in the game permanently with them, but I would have thought that they probably would have had like maybe do 5 big deals or just 5 big missions with them, and then that's basically it. But I don't know, I guess it's like he's completely back in with them. And so her sexy ass is cashing in on that shit, and yes, she is very sexy. And this spells trouble for it. It's just like basically when you think that you out, they pull you right back in. And that's basically all the way it comes down to, is that this is a life that Marcos didn't want to be in, that he tried to escape, that he just was so ashamed of it. He really was not trying to be a part of it any longer and all that stuff. And he found a way out, and now he's back up in it. And it seems like now he's like stuck again, because he did it for the right reasons, but it's going to take a toll on him, because we find out that Lorna finds out about it, and so she basically just confronts him about it, and it just doesn't end well, for that, just how they try and do everything. And up in this episode, we got Johnny. He goes out to find Clarice, aka Blink. You blink, you miss her, because she's in the tunnel. Never mind. Anyway, but yeah, so he goes out to try and find her. He ends up tracking her down, and he just tries to convince her to come back, and he convinces her by basically helping her find what she was looking for, because she basically was told that she kept making a portal to this one place when she was having her little seizure and all this stuff, that she kept making a portal to this one place, and so she wanted to find it. And so she found out that because she kept doing that, they tracked where it kept making the portal and all that stuff. And so they figured that, it linked them to a place of her past that was consistent of mutants, which got ransacked because of what she did. And so they go on a mission to find out basically where this place was, because she really I don't think she didn't have a memory of it and stuff like that. And they end up finding it, and it's basically just ramsacked. And she is kind of like hurt by it, because she knows that she was the cause of it. Not intentionally, but she was the cause of it, that, this happened. This happened to, the people, this place that she grew up on, this place that she was familiar with, that she put all these mutants in danger, and that some people must probably just end up dying because of it. And so that puts her in kind of a dark place and brings her back to the Mutant Underground to help out and try and stop them. And so she realized that, that she needs to go ahead and help them out in order to basically get revenge and shit like of that nature. Is what else happens up in here? Okay, so Reed does a little he does tech, I guess you could say. I don't know what you would call it, but he was helping find out certain things about, you know, the companies that's hunting the mutants and stuff like that. And so he ends up finding this one sheet of paper regarding Wes, who was responsible for, I think, a bank robbery and, you know, just certain illegal things that he didn't tell the Mutant Underground about. And so when it comes down to it, he's holding this shame above him, and he really wants to confront him about it, but you know, it's just, how do you confront somebody about that? Especially, they have the rule that basically, if you had murdered, you know, did anything that's questionable, that's illegal and stuff like that, then you're kicked out of the Mutant Underground, because they want, you know, just good mutants. They don't want bad mutants among them and all that stuff. And so this would be considered one of those things that could possibly get you kicked out of the Mutant Underground. And so he ends up letting his daughter know, Lauren, who flips out and all that good stuff, which, you know, for good reason, you know. But it's just, I don't know, like, damn, like you act like you know this guy, and you know y'all just bestest friends and shit, but you know, whatever. I feel like she overreacted, but you know, it's storyline and shit like that. But in any case, so she confronts him, and it basically, all of it is true, that, you know, he had to do some stuff for kind of like a good reason. He had to do some bad stuff for a good reason. And it was something that he was living with, and yeah, I mean, like, you can't really blame it. I mean, because he tells a story that, you know, he was living a hard time. I think it was something with his mom or something like that. He had to help out and get money, and you know, he had to do a lot of things just to make it, you know, just to live. And so, you know, you can tell that he was ashamed of it and all that good stuff. And it was like kind of like an episode that, you know, it gets into the past of one of the characters, but I don't know, like, unless we see this character again, I don't know if he's gonna like come back and, you know, be a permanent person on the show, or if that's gonna be it, or he's just gonna be in and out and stuff like that. But I don't know, like, I feel like going to his past like that was kind of like, you know, I don't know. I guess there is a reason for all of it. I guess it is. But yeah, it's kind of fucked up. But you know, we all see that he eventually leaves to go, and you know, he's forgiven by the Mutant Underground, because they figure like that was his past, and that he grew, that he had to do this to survive, and blah blah. And so, but he still decides to leave. And so, moving on to Agent Turner. Agent Turner is a bad guy that has a good motive for why he's hunting the mutants. But ever since the heavy introduction of Dr. Campbell, we find out that Agent Turner is kind of like one of those people that's on the line, that starts off as the villain, but then you get a more sinister villain that comes in that's doing more evil stuff. It kind of has the first villain questioning what he's doing, why he's doing it, and all that good stuff. I've been saying that lately, all that good stuff. You know, it's whatever. But so yeah, Dr. Campbell, he seems like he's going to be, by the end of this season, he's going to be the villain. I mean, he's already the villain, but I mean the villain. And I think Agent Turner is going to be one of those people who ends up flipping sides. I'm not gonna say like majorly like Reed did. I mean, Reed had a good reason for doing it, but I think Agent Turner is gonna be more understandable and have more mercy than Dr. Campbell would when it's regarding the Mutant Underground. I think it's going to be since when you find out more about the protest and what it really was about. I mean, this is just speculation. I feel like there's going to be something more to it. Like, it was a misunderstanding that, that there was a great reason. I ain't gonna say great, but a good reason why it happened the way it happened. That is gonna turn his. That's gonna make him look at things differently. Agent Turner, I'm talking. It's gonna make him look at things differently. I think that's where it's gonna go. And then on top of that, like I said, you got Dr. Campbell, who is behind, a lot of shady stuff. Like, he's experimenting on mutants and stuff like that. And, he's doing stuff that's kind of questionable. And so you have him having a guy under his control that basically can do things. I want to say telekinesis. But he does something to this woman who is looking into what Agent Turner is doing, the money that he's spending in operations and stuff, or, just basically just operations. And so she comes in trying to stop him because, like, this is unnecessary. And so she ends up basically getting attacked by Dr. Campbell's right hand mutant or whatever. And that's when Agent Turner is looking like, he knows it. He peeps it. He peeps that this mutant did that to her. And so he's starting to question, was this a good alliance? And so he knows that this guy, Dr. Campbell, has friends in high places, that he's a little bit more powerful than what he can do. So, I mean, it's like he has to tread on light water. Around it. He had to walk on eggshells just so that he won't get on his bad side and, this and that. But I think at this point, he's still trying to figure him out. Trying to figure out what is he all about. He sees that he's really up to no good, but I think he's really trying to actually feel him out to see, like, where he goes from there. Because I think Agent Turner, like I said, really is kind of like questioning his alliance with this guy. Because this is more than what he asked for. It's like Agent Turner has his reasons for why he's doing what he's doing. But this guy, Dr. Campbell, is doing stuff that's kind of like, I guess you could say, borderline evil. And he's starting to see that he's not just doing it for the right reasons. He's doing it for his own selfish reasons. And, you're starting to see a lot of this. And so, like I said, when I got the notes about Polaris and Dreamer going after Marcos, and it's just everything comes down to a boiling point with that. And so Marcos and Polaris, or Lorna, they basically, are just at odds with each other because this is just something that was really personal to them. What is it? Yeah, and so basically just getting back to the Dr. Campbell and well, you know what? Before I even get to that, let me go right back to, I know I'm flipping back and forth, but I'm looking through my notes and I'm just trying to figure out everything. So we have Polaris and Marcos basically just discussing what happened when Marcos went on a run with his ex and all that stuff, and just basically doing what they was doing. And so Polaris and Dreamer was there, and they saw him, and they basically saw Marcos using his power, and he looked like he liked it, like he wasn't holding back. And so that was one thing that threw Polaris off, because she sees that, he's going back in his old ways, whether he was forced or, whether he wanted to. He's back in it, and he looks like he liked it. Now, I see that Marcos, he has a bad side. It's kind of like an addiction. His power is kind of like, say, like a person that loves alcohol, and you basically quit. You don't drink alcohol no more and all this stuff because it only brings bad stuff, and you AA meetings and all that stuff. So you're in a good place. And then someone brings you back in, and then, you end up drinking again. And that's basically what it is. Using his powers in the way that he's using it is one of those times where it's just like, yeah, he's back into it. He likes it, even though it's bad for him, but, he likes it. And so Polaris sees that, and it just throws her off. Like, she wants him to not be associated with that because she knows what that comes with, but he's kind of stuck. Like I said, he's stuck. He can't get out of that, and it seems like he's stuck for real this time. So it's gonna be even harder trying to get him out of that. And plus, she's blackmailing him with holding that, she'll give the cops all the information and stuff when it comes to him if, like, he doesn't do whatever she says. So it's kind of a fucked up situation. But just to end this episode off, basically, yeah. So Dr. Campbell he wants to use mutants to fight other mutants. Fight fire with fire, I guess you could say. And so that's basically what I basically was talking about before, how Agent Turner, I'm about to say Agent Carter, but how Agent Turner basically why he looks at him kind of differently than what he did when he first met him and all that stuff. It's like he's just starting to see more of Dr. Campbell that he doesn't like. He's starting to see a lot more of it than what he would want to, actually see, and just it's throwing him completely off. And I don't blame him. I really don't. And it's just, man, I'm curious to see of where this is all going to lead to by the end of this series. Well, I ain't gonna say this series, but this season of the series. So hopefully it has a season 2. Hopefully it ends off good to where it has a season 2. But I mean, it is what it is. So I'm gonna just go ahead and end that off, and right there, that's all I really had to talk about on this episode, which was episode 7, named eXtreme Measures, with a big X, and all of them is lowercase. Emphasis on the X, man. Universe and all that good stuff. But yes, I'd like to thank you guys for listening to me talk about The Gifted, no matter how late this is. And go ahead and hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the notification button. I almost forgot the name of it. Notification button, so that you'll be notified for anything that drops on my channel. And also share this video with your friends. Comment in the section below. And yeah, I think that's about it. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.